Hey, you two, Rex, City, and Johnny.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And the Reccast Podcast episode of this season. Current season.
Yes.
So we had a bunch of shows end this week.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about those, but I'd like to start with a fun fact for Violet Evergarden. Because we actually have finally started that show, and by the time you see this, the first episode should be out on YouTube. So the fun fact is, Violet actually owns a large battle axe called Witchcraft, which was shown in the anime's commercials, but was entirely removed from the anime.
Why?
Well, actually, I don't know. Well, maybe not. I was gonna say actually it might have changed her character a lot because she seems just very physically adept, and if she just had this giant random weapon, I guess it would just change the show a little bit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too bad, I guess.
And also, it's kind of not what the show is focused on.
True. So it's kind of random that she's just gonna have this giant battle axe
That she's riding on.
A comically large battle axe.
It is comically large.
I was gonna say it'd be so random. She's like walking around like a normal street with this giant axe, but that I would
be
totally
very Violet though.
I was gonna say it would be totally Violet.
And also, it's I'm still not quite. I have not quite placed what kind of era this show is in. It kind of feels like almost steampunky.
Yeah.
Like it's going to, like it's a world that's about to go steampunky.
It's because they have all this technology for her arms that connect to her nerves somehow. So she can actually feel a little, she's talked about.
Oh, she said that?
Yeah, she says she doesn't feel it very much when the tea spilled on her hand. And then she has enough tactile movement, like she can control it with her brain. Obviously, her brain is controlling it, right? So that's some high technology there.
Yeah, one of the other fun facts, Leiden, the city they're in, is a city in the Netherlands.
Oh.
So I think it's literally just our world, except when it's not.
That's when it's not.
It's the same.
Yes. Got it.
So I think it's World War I is what they just went through.
Yes. It makes no sense to me to stand on a battle axe. I kind of hate seeing that when they do that in pictures because I'm like, it loses its utility. Gotta hold it.
Well, what it makes me think is that a couple of things. Number one, she's very comfortable with it. That's like her resting place is with her axe. Number two, it's really deep in the floor so that it can balance her. So she must have like swung that hard. So
I think it's also kind of to show how young she is.
That too,
because kids
immaturity.
they can stand. Well, not just immaturity. They can stand on things that they can't when they get a bit older. Yeah. So I think it's just showing like she's just a small person. The axe is so much bigger than her because it's meant for like a grown man or something like that.
Yeah, it's enough space to balance.
Yeah. In fact, right now they're still calling her a child, so I don't know how old she is.
I think it's intentionally kept ambiguous because I was reading the trivia on the show and it's like there's several people who take guesses at her age. So no one really knows, but it is implied that she looks younger.
Okay.
Because even like Benedict, who looks young himself, says
he's
she's
calling
a kid.
her a kid.
Everyone calls her a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, one person was even guessing like 10.
What?
But I doubt that.
I know.
A lot more people seem to be between 14 and 16.
Yeah, I would guess that too.
So, I mean, now that we're 2 episodes in, I think we're all pretty sure that it is pretty much what we were expecting with Violet. It's just going to be a sadder show, whereas Frieren is more emotional, like we kind of went over last week. But I liked last episode more, episode 2, than episode 1. Because episode 1 I was like, is this going to be just a cry fest the whole time? I really don't want to see that. Because I like emotional shows, but I don't want a sad show constantly. But last episode gave me an indication that, no, it's going to be a learning experience. And all the characters around they've got their own things going on. Yeah. And it's not all just going to be focusing on the pain of Violet. Which, I do expect and want us to go through and explore that on Violet, but I don't want to watch a 30-minute episode every single time of all about the pain and stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
But the Erica stuff seems very interesting. I want to know where she's coming from.
Yes.
So I on that note of kind of like giving us some breather room to just explore, and then the sad parts will feel more poignant.
Yes.
Like at the end of the last episode when we all I don't know, I'm speaking with a British accent. We all knew what happened to Gilbert, and still when he said that we're like, oh no. You know, so it made the moment better because throughout the episode we're a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more crazy and weird things happening, like what the heck, you know.
Benedict getting rejected by everyone he comes across.
That's so random.
I have to at this point assume that he is the problem. I have to.
They all know him.
Yeah, but the reason it's so weird to me is they're all just mean to him and he seems like oblivious Like he's trying still. It's not like he's like, oh, come on, guys. It's not like he's like, oh, this always happens. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Like it's never happened before. But they're acting like it happens all the time.
Well, that's the thing, does it? Because the way they rejected him, it felt specific.
Like maybe he recently did something.
Like,
Some
ew,
girls-
you're sweaty. Get
Yeah.
out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a rejection that happens regularly. That sounds like at this time I see you, like, no, I don't like you. It felt like on almost like a first meeting rejection kind of thing, but they probably know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, hard to break.
So random.
But yeah, do you have other thoughts on that, or we can talk about Demon Slayer ending?
I noticed while I was editing that I didn't catch it the first time, but when Violet says, I want to know what, when she's talking to Erica, after Erica asks her what's her reason for wanting to be a memory doll, she's saying, I want to know what Gilbert meant when he said I love you, but I also want to know why I want to continue this job even though I know I'm not suited for it. And I was like, oh, she wants
She wants a normal
apart
one.
from Gilbert, she
Yeah.
wants something for herself.
Oh, I didn't catch
I
it
didn't
that
catch that
way.
either.
Neither did I.
I thought she was just saying like, I'm just going to do this because. I didn't catch it that I want to know more about myself. That's cool.
Yes, it's really, really cool. Yeah.
Oh. She's growing very quickly.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, she's literally never been in a place where she can
Do
focus
this.
on self-improvement.
Anything.
True.
On literally anything else other than murder
And
and
something that I do like about her character is she is not daft. I thought they were gonna make her like super smart in military and super dumb in everything else. She is, but she's a quick study.
Yes.
So it's like
She's only dumb in it because of ignorance.
Ignorance.
So once she gets the information, she's learning quickly.
very quick.
Yes.
Yeah. So I enjoy that. I'm glad.
Yeah, and also it keeps coming back to my head every single time I think about the episode. It's like, all right, who do you think you are? She's Erica. She just says it so quickly.
Yeah.
And I think there's also an indication she cares about Erica. She's her friend now.
Yeah.
Took up her.
Yeah.
She's Erica.
That's her name.
Got this. But yeah.
But yeah, I keep feeling bad for Violet because she's in this situation with no guidance, and I brought it up after we turned off the camera, so I can say it again here. There doesn't seem to be a character in the show right now who can take on the mentor role for Violet. We had the old lady who was kind of offering to be a motherly role, but she was immediately rejected.
her.
And we didn't see anything from episode 2. So that's something could still come up there.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for a character like, almost like the vibe that Benedict got from that old guy who would just randomly listen
He's
to him
like,
talk.
Yeah.
Then he walks over and he sat next to him and started eating fried noodles. It's not much, but just that little act I think is really important for characters on screen.
And I'm here for you, someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are trying to be there for Violet, but I don't feel like anybody is equipped or trying to take the role of you're my kid.
Yes.
And she needs that.
Yes.
I have hope for Catalia.
Yeah. Yeah.
She seems to be
Someone-
more interested and intrigued by her and
She endears to people
caring
quickly, it
and she's very
seems.
endearing. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons she's so good as an auto memory doll. So I think we saw her take her out to tea. That she was trying to like get her to explain to her the contradictory nature of humans.
Yes.
So I kind of see her as probably, especially now that what's his name, Hodgins, Claudia has confided in her the truth.
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna probably start to take it on herself to be a guide for her. So
I hope so.
hopefully we see that come up in the future.
Yeah. We also had this week Gogo Blues Ranger and Demon Slayer ending.
Oh.
Perhaps we talk about Demon Slayer first, though.
Okay.
With Demon Slayer, what an ending.
Yes.
What an ending.
Oh,
Holy
that was
cow.
like the cliffhanger of cliffhangers right there.
Spectacular. I remember
Oh
like
my
in the
goodness.
beginning you were like, don't you dare end here.
Yes.
But then like for me, I was feeling the same thing, but like by the end of the ending, I was like,
I'm
okay,
good.
yeah, fine. This
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm prepared for this.
Yeah. Same.
Season 4, by the way.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Also, what's going on with Zenitsu?
Oh yes, somebody commented on that by the way.
Oh, really?
That he's definitely awake.
He's awake.
He's awake. Oh,
Yes.
He seemed like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot there was something else they said, but I may have repressed it because it might have been spoilery. I don't know.
I don't remember if I said this in the reaction or if I said this out of the reaction that I think maybe the blood on his forehead was from him like smacking his head so much that like unconscious him and conscious him
merged.
Combined.
That would be amazing.
Concussions and
Concussions.
concussion.
Oh no, I thought you made up a word.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. I am happy to see him in a different mode of mind. Like I think you talked about it in the reaction, maybe in the discussion, that we were kind of getting tired of the crazy off the wall screaming Zenitsu. They kind of pushed the limit a little bit the last few episodes. So this version of him is very refreshing.
Yeah.
Very excited for next season. Cannot wait.
The only reason I'm ready for this Zenitsu, but I'm not like refreshed by this Zenitsu is because it's happening for a negative reason, and I'm like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
What's wrong, honey?
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, still.
What does the letter say?
I welcome his trauma because
I welcome his trauma.
it's just he was in the beginning. From the very beginning, he was like, okay, what's the deal with this guy? Mm-hmm. And then it progressed. So this guy's kind of annoying, but I like the friendship he has because he had, I can't remember exactly how it was, but he had a role in the group where he was somewhat serious sometimes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where he would be the one to talk to Tanjiro and be like, are you sure you want to do that, Tanjiro? Mm-hmm. Or like, that's a little bit crazy if he can't actually accomplish that. Because Inosuke was the guy who took on the role of being the crazy one, at least earlier on. But as it's gone forward, Inosuke, he is the crazy one, but really the only thing he's been doing for like the past season is just challenging Tanjiro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't want to say his character's degraded at that point, but that's become the main thing that we see from Inosuke every single time he's on screen. Mm-hmm. And Zenitsu, even though he kind of played both roles where he was sometimes crazy, sometimes normal, now he's all crazy. And I feel like they hyped it to a degree where they wanted us to get sick of him because we're not going to see it again.
Yeah. Maybe they were just getting it out of their system.
Yeah.
It's like, I really like this version of him. Let's just make it be.
Let's just get our fill real quick, and then it's done. It's over. I wonder. I'm hoping that we're gonna find like our middle ground where like he'll still yell every now and again, but not in like cowardice, you know, because that was the main thing he was yelling about all the time.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm dying. You know?
I enjoyed the funniest moment for me from him this season was when Wind was trying to drag him back, just like crying, shut up, shut up. It was so out of nowhere. It's so funny.
Yeah. I think we all celebrated at that time too.
Yes,
like yeah, shut up. Yeah.
And Tanjiro was a little defiant, like, no, I don't accept you either. You stand Nezuko.
Yes,
that was so good.
Yes.
Oh man.
Tanjiro being rebellious with a smile.
Yes, it's like I submit to your authority, but I'm gonna rebel anyway.
Yes.
You know, it's good. I like it.
It's stuff like that where I can see where people who criticize Tanjiro as a protagonist come from, because any other protagonist, the smile on your face would be a bit more biting if I felt like there was actual malice behind it.
And I was gonna say, I was like thinking he would have that little, what is that little, the veins.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he had nothing.
I think he genuinely was still happy to see Wind, but it was like, on principle.
I cannot accept you, sir.
But he would actually, like, he'd still be nice to Wind.
Yes.
Which that part of it is just like, have some teeth to you, you know, if you're going to say something like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me. But I can see, like, there's some people who, like, they never liked Tanjiro. They found him boring. They found him too perfect. And that never left them. So, I mean, I'm glad I don't see it like that. But I can see where they're coming from with stuff like that. So, like, that moment was the time for Tanjiro, if ever, to be mad at a person who's not a demon. It would be that.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like even when he's angry, he's still Tanjiro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if he's like angry at somebody, he'll still feed you. He's like, here, have some food. You haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah.
I don't accept you. But I put a little too much salt on that, by the way.
The ending was explosive, to say the least.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I like what they did with the Master.
I actually like it too.
It changes how I look at him, and if I was to
Yeah.
go back, I don't think to the show I'd watch again, like rewatch. But if I was to, I would look at him differently, because he was always kind of creepy
True.
in a little way. I always
Yes.
found him a little off-putting.
Yes.
Like, I liked him, I did like him, but I always thought he was a little weird.
Yes, like there's something peculiar about you.
Yeah, I was also remembering when Tanjiro first met him, where I was like really intimidated because like I think Tanjiro didn't bow or something, and he wasn't mean or anything, but he looked like he said something reprimanding or something like that, and or maybe one of the people said it or something like that.
And made him bow.
Yeah, but something about the way he either didn't say anything or he just stared or whatever. Like I was intimidated, like, oh boy, this guy's probably like really bad or something.
Yeah.
But I also remember Tanjiro just staring at him. And I wonder if Tanjiro sensed something, because he's got the nose, you know?
He's got the nose that knows.
He did smell something on him, but I think it might have been serenity. There's
Maybe.
something about him.
Maybe.
I thought it was the death smell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember.
Maybe I don't remember either.
Yeah.
But I was gonna also say, I mean, he was able to smell the faint whiff of anger on Shinobu. Mm-hmm. So
Which is, it's just insane. The whole thing's insane.
super specific.
We also finished Gogo's Ranger this
Yes.
week.
That was also a fun ending.
Very nice show. Like surprising.
Yes.
We had our, I think we did we rate it. We rated it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had our complaints or whatever, but a surprisingly good show, because honestly, something I forgot to say in the rating, I started off with that show not thinking it was going to be that good.
Same. Yeah.
I was kind of scared that we're like, dang, we shouldn't be on this one.
Yeah, just kind of like, I was like, this feels like I would have watched this as a filler anime.
Yeah.
When there's like all of the other big animes that I know I enjoy have like finished, or I'm waiting for them to come out.
Yeah.
I'd browse the front page and find this and be like, okay, I'll watch this.
Yeah, just even from the name, like from when we talked about it months ago, months before, maybe even a year before.
A year ago.
Yeah, and I was just like, why, guys? Why? But everybody was hyping it up. You were like, a lot of people wanted to see it, and they're like, we're gonna watch it. I'm like, we're gonna watch it? Okay.
Yeah, that's one of those shows that it's just I kept hearing about, and so I was trying to find, because I try to in general intercept shows that are gonna be good and watch them on the channel, because I don't know, one of them might be the next Demon Slayer, right, and get like tens of thousands of views.
True.
So I wanted to give it a shot, and the first episode, I think it got to like 1,000, maybe a bit more. I don't remember how much it got.
Yeah, it
but
did
it was enough
better than I thought.
It did enough to warrant just keep up with this one.
Yeah.
You know. The finale, it did definitely have a drop off in viewership as time went on.
Yeah.
So I am concerned if we could actually watch season 2 on the channel. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the show too.
Yeah.
It was super fun. The ending was really unexpected.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, Petrola, there's something about villains that are just so impossible to kill. That are so annoying.
It
It's
really
really
is.
annoying.
I was kind of hoping that they would be like, okay, that's it for that, but
But when you think about it, like, we kept saying, man, he's stupid. He keeps coming back.
yeah.
It turns out he had one safe the whole time. Yeah, so he wasn't stupid. We were just decoyed madly because he's amazing at having multiple people.
Yes.
It's one of those shows that there's not a huge amount to. There's both things to theorize about, but there's also, I don't get the feeling from this show that anything is that deep.
Same.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer, even though it's a very action-packed show and things are just very kind of surface level on the motivations and where we're going to go with this. If you guessed it right, that's probably it. I can still theorize crazy amount on Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is about Demon Slayer that makes it different, or some shows that you can just theorize about. But Gogo's Ranger, I don't get the feeling that it goes that deep. The deepest it goes is with Yo.
Yeah.
What's your name? Sakurano?
Suzukiri.
Suzukiri.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about why that might be, and I feel like it's one of the things that they've cut out. They've done a bad job of what they've kept out and what they've kept in terms of like storytelling, because we've had multiple moments where we've had to like figure out or try to figure out, okay, what's really happening here. People have to tell us in the comments, this is what he was thinking. Like, we should at least have an inkling. Like, I understand, like, sometimes that happening, but there's some big moments that we didn't get, and we would not have gotten if we didn't have comments to tell us. So people who are watching it on their own are gonna miss that too if they've never read the manga. So I feel like the kind of ways that they're not really telling us the thinking as much. They did it a couple of times, but they're not giving us enough of the thinking to care about going deeper. I think that either the last or second to last episode where he has the dream was probably the most we've gotten into his psyche and understanding where what's going on in his head.
His conflict and everything like that.
Yeah.
And, dude, I don't think it was a good idea to have the real Hibiki just off screen the entire season.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have made it very interesting with him actually trying to do something.
Yeah. Same.
But
I thought of another thing. What might also be contributing to the lack of depth? It could be the type of character that Fighter D is. Fighter D is not an actual
introspective
human
person.
No, not even that. He's not human, so he doesn't. It's not like we don't expect a big backstory because he doesn't have one. He has 13 years, which is a human 13 years, but he doesn't have 13 human years. You know, he doesn't have experience of 13 years. He's been a fighter for 13 years, and so like the best that we'll get is a backstory of before him, which he can't give us.
Yeah.
So it's like we're not interested in it because he's not. We know it's not there. You know. So I think that might be contributing to the lack of enthusiasm on our part.
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. I wonder how much of this is a. The thing is, for the most part, the comments were saying this is a really good adaptation. Like they trimmed the fat and stuff like that. So a part of me is thinking, maybe if they included more stuff, it would have been better, so that we could have more to grab onto.
Oh yeah.
But with those comments, then I think, okay, that can't be the case then, unless it's a case of the manga readers having that information in the back of their mind. They don't find themselves needing it when they see the condensed version.
That might be
And
it.
us seeing the condensed version, that's why we run into
lost.
issues.
Yeah. That's
But,
possible.
I mean, with all that said, again, like we all gave it good grades.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
It
Yeah.
was a good show.
It's
It's
just-
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's one of those shows though that leaves you with the feeling of this could have been better.
Yes.
Even if it is good, you know?
Yes.
That nagging
Had-
feeling.
Potential.
It's likable, but it could have been
Lovable.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Something else that happened this week, or rather in between the weeks, is we watched Train to Busan.
Yes. Great zombie movie, and it makes I still love zombies.
You love zombies? And
Yeah, I talked about it last
Yeah.
podcast or the podcast
yeah,
before or
yeah.
something. I love zombies. Like I don't know when I started loving zombies. Maybe it was Zombieland,
Warm
but
bodies.
no, it was before that.
Let me mess with you.
Yeah, zombies are great, and I don't tend to like horror shows, but this was like very enjoyable.
It's something about zombies that it's like almost horror, not quite horror, because like it's understandable. You know, even if it's so like for this movie, it feels really insurmountable.
Yeah.
It's like I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
true.
there is something I can do. You know, it's not like an Eldritch horror where I have no idea of the mechanics of how any of this works.
True. Like you kind of, and we understand very quickly how they work too.
Yes,
So yeah.
it's a human body. I can stab.
And since this movie's been out for a few years, I won't spoil it. But yeah, I mean, there are another good thing about it is something that really upsets me with horror movies is there's usually a lot of moments where, why the hell did you do that?
Yes.
They kept it so minimal in this.
Yes.
Up until the very end.
Oh yeah.
Where there are a couple big moments that I did
Yeah.
point out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that was almost intentional.
Yes. No, that was very intentional.
Yeah.
Actually, I found out why.
Oh?
There's 2 more movies.
To Train to Busan?
Yeah, 3 is coming out this year.
Whoa.
I didn't even hear it.
It must not have been good.
So I'm wondering,
good.
not do well?
Well, I don't know because it's a Korean movie as well.
True.
So would we have gotten the news about it?
I'm saying it could have been like the first one was like they knew it was gonna be good because of the actors and all of that in it, and or like the pre-watchers were like, oh, it's gonna be good, and then it got out into the West. But Korea's still kind of like closed
They're very
with their culture, not culture, their entertainment.
Things don't get out a lot.
Yeah, so they have a lot of big things that they're like, oh my gosh, this is great in Asia that don't make it to us. So it could have been really good, just not Western good.
Let's see the box office.
But it was good enough, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it still made money. Like it doubled the budget, but the return was about half. It still made bank. That's still good money,
Yeah.
but just not as much.
Yeah, and knowing the people who are gonna rate it is it wasn't as good as the first one, we don't want it.
Yes.
An interesting naming. they didn't do the franchise thing, being like Train to Busan 2.
No.
Yes,
They're
it's
like
called Peninsula.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they say they marketed it as Train to Busan Presents Peninsula, but that's still a weird thing to do. In the West,
That's
you just slap
random.
a 2 on next to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why it didn't make it as big. Because if people love Train to Busan, they see Train to Busan 2 or Train to Busan Peninsula, they would have totally jumped on it. It would probably done much better.
Probably because they're not on a train to Busan anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's probably what's messing with their head. They're like, we're really gonna be dishonest.
Where's the train?
Wait, it says it's a standalone sequel to Train to
Oh.
Busan, but is the 3rd installment.
What?
What is this?
What?
Be careful you see the
Give
cover.
me
of the
understanding.
Oh,
Train
Seoul
to
Station.
Seoul Station is the second one. Then Peninsula is the spiritual successor, I guess. And then Last Train to New York is the one that's coming.
Yeah, that's the one I saw talking about probably
And then a
this year.
sequel to Peninsula.
Is also coming. Okay. Okay.
I don't know why, but I feel Last Train to New York is going to do amazing.
Of course, because it's New York.
Yeah. And
But
look at the name.
if this does well, who's that?
Gary Doberman.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
very Western.
It's a Western.
It's gonna be a Western, yeah. Look at all the producers.
Oh, of course.
All the English names. The other three were
They took
produced
it
by
away
Lee
from Lee
Dong-ha.
Dong-ha. Come on, guys.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, now this is gonna ruin it. That's why it's getting. That's why it popped up because I was looking for a cover to put on the movie, Thumb,
Yeah.
and 3 came up. I'm like, there's a 3
Yeah, I always
with a spoiler.
I always worry about you
When she starts looking stuff up, she just
thumbs-
looks
when,
things up
when you go to look
indiscriminately.
up for thumbnails, yeah, because you will just latch on to things and you just look around. And I don't know if I trust your ability to avoid spoilers. Sorry, that didn't catch it. But yeah, I mean, whenever you go looking for thumbnails, it's like, please, 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 don't see it. Don't see it. Don't see it.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want me to see anything, give me the background that you use in the episode. I'll use that.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind. It's because sometimes I'm looking for the one you use because it's so pretty. I can't find it. I don't know how you find them.
Yeah, it sometimes takes me a while.
Yeah.
Like, not only finding them, but finding a JPEG. That's what I used to do, and then I found out you could actually convert the other files to JPEG.
Yeah.
But, dude, seriously, what is with WebP? Why
WebP.
does everyone use WebP? Why?
I think it's something the what is it, like the web, not the website, the place that you upload your website
Converts it to.
converts it to. Yeah, because I've done it where I've made a website and I go to check the website and the picture I put in that was a JPEG is now opening as a WebP. So I don't know if it was the program, like maybe the coding program or something.
I wonder why.
I think it's for protection.
You're probably trying to do some right-click protection on it. Yeah.
It works.
Because you can't use it in Photoshop.
It warded me off for a long time until I discovered convert.
Same. Oh, what I do is screenshot because usually they're smaller than my screen, so I can screenshot and get the full size.
I did it a few times as well, but the thing is, with I need the ratio to be good. So like, if I do the screenshot and drag it into like,
Then you have to fix it.
yeah, and if I zoom in, sometimes the resolution isn't very good. So then I have to just find a good one. But Train to Busan in general, the action, the camera work. I love the action and the camera work of Korean movies.
It was good.
When they're trying to be action, when they're trying to give you focus, it's just amazing. If they can keep that, which I have little faith that they will, if they keep that for Train to New York and it releases in the West and it's marketed as like a Western thing, it will do extremely well. But I doubt they will, because there's this weird thing with shaky cam in the West that they found that thing, thought it was a holy grail, and they refused to stop using it.
They do.
They also
Born
think,
identity.
yeah, they also think wide shots and holding the camera still so you can see a full minute of action is like something evil about that. They think it's demonic or something, because they refuse to ever just sit on a scene and let the people who are trained to be combatants work. You paid like $1 million for these guys to stand here and train, and then you cut it up to look like this.
So bad.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Well,
At least that guy's like 80.
he needed help.
Yeah.
But I mean, that whole sequence of when the big guy was leading the charge into that room full of zombies, and he just started punching out the zombies. You felt the hype as he
Yes.
walked in, and like you guys stayed behind me, and then it was very simple. He just walked up, deck him. Next one, deck him. You grab him. It's very simple.
Yes.
But it was intense.
Yes.
And you were locked onto the screen. They try to achieve that same thing with all those jump cuts and having people be very complicated with martial arts, and it just doesn't seem as cool.
Yeah. Just have the person do the thing.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Yeah. It's such a I think that might have been why Train to Busan accomplished like the feeling I got, because it's like I felt it felt like I was watching something not simple, but like it wasn't complicated, but I got all these complex emotions
Yes.
that I don't feel like I get from Western movies anymore.
Yeah.
It was very human.
Yes.
Very
That's
human.
just a big guy.
I was gonna also say it was very immersive.
Yeah.
Like you felt like it, because there weren't like constantly jumping angles. You didn't feel like a viewer. You felt like a person in the show, like experiencing like
I'm
the
watching
scene.
this thing happen in front of you.
Like the very poignant scene of where the girl and the guy, and we get this very far out angle, and where it feels like I'm hiding from zombies, and I'm peering down and seeing them change. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't get caught. You know, it feels like that because of the way they do the angles. They give you time to view it. You know,
Yeah.
very good movie.
Very, very good movie.
I also want to talk about one more thing with my love for zombies.
Yes.
Something about apocalyptic shows, I think it is. But the reason zombies is because I feel like it's so possible, but not. Because it's usually the way they put it in the movies is science did it, which is what they did in this one,
Yeah.
right? Biology lab,
But,
leaking stuff.
Yeah,
YTYB, something like that. Yeah. And it's just because of they always do, it's so simple, like they didn't even explain any detail. Oh, it was chemical X, you know. They were just like, no, this biology lab did it. It's like, those biology labs.
Those bio guys. you
Yeah,
know.
and I just feel like I don't know, I do not wish it. I do not wish it.
But it's cool.
The feeling of being in an apocalyptic and surviving, like having to break glass and smash people in the face, just sounds fun.
It does. The collapse of society sounds entertaining. I mean, look at like Zom 100. We never watched it on the channel, but I did see the rundown of like episode 1.
I watched some of that, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a sense of freeing that the main character gets
Yes.
from the collapse of society.
Yes.
And I think that's something a lot of people feel is like just there's no rules anymore.
Yeah.
There's kind of a certain level of fun to it. All these things that we built, all these pristine, like the glass windows, break them because there are no rules anymore. Survive. And there's kind of a fun in imagining how you would do in a survival scenario.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I don't get that feeling from shows like The Purge.
Yeah.
I don't like The Purge. I don't know, you might get that feeling.
It seems stupid to me.
Yes.
It's not even stupid. It just...
I think part of it is because I'm like, all of this is entirely avoidable. Like, it just didn't need to happen. It's not like a calamity that suddenly appeared.
Yes.
It's like, you just don't.
Yeah. The difference is in The Purge, people are like controlling it, number one. Like with the zombie or apocalyptic situation, everybody is in trouble.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, I don't know what to do, and everybody's gonna have to figure something out. They're gonna be the people who want all for themselves and the selfish, like, and you can just smack those people in the face and be okay, you know. And but with The Purge, it's like there's somebody controlling this, and there are people who can get an upper hand on you, and you can't do anything about it. You still kind of feel trapped. It doesn't feel like freedom.
It's still the walls of society.
It's just a different society.
Yeah, it's just a different society.
True, that's it.
And also, it's essentially the same vibe as a war movie, because it's the states fighting within itself, but it's all controlled. Like one side is going against another side, just in a very complicated manner.
Interesting.
Zombies, it's not a war movie.
No.
Everyone's trying to survive a tiger chasing them, you know? It's that vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I keep thinking is like, it feels like you got dropped in the middle of like
The
a
Sahara.
wilderness where like all these wild animals are there to hunt you and eat you, but you can survive. You can
Yes.
fight it off. You just have to like calculate and figure it out.
Yeah.
There's also like other factors to your survival, like, you know, food, water, shelter, you know, that kind of stuff. But like, it feels like if you're calculating enough, you can survive it. You just have to math it out.
Yes. Guys, are we gonna become doomsday preppers?
Oh, I'm already getting ready for that. I love that.
Let's do it.
It's so much fun.
Remember that analogy of like, I don't have to be faster than zombies, just faster
Faster
than
than you.
I don't need to build a shelter. I need to have a gun when you build a shelter.
Oh my gosh! Don't live near us.
You're gonna be that kind of survivor?
Give me the castle.
For goodness sake.
Come on, man.
I'm just playing.
No. But all I'm saying is that I built 2 bedrooms. You can come in whenever you want.
I can have 2 bedrooms.
Come on. I really need all the space to spread my legs.
Man spreading.
The ultimate kind.
We're also talking a little bit about Kaiju number 8.
Yes.
And I saw some people, I've seen several comments now comparing it to Attack on Titan. And I felt like watching the clips that I saw, that was like, I don't see it. Do you feel that?
Not from the episodes that I watched.
How many
no.
do you see?
I think I'm either up to episode 5 or 6.
So you should have a good idea.
But yeah, I did not get that vibe at all.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, watching it, I'm just like, okay, so there's kaiju, you know, monsters, and I said monsters.
Yes.
We've got our guys fighting them. Is that the connection?
No, in this, I'm trying to think.
I mean, like, is that what someone would be looking at it and think Attack on Titan? Because they're humans fighting against monsters.
Not at all, because like first of all, they're not in like a walled city or anything. The only parallel I see is that like there was the kaiju started coming and destroying their world when these two people were young, a guy and a girl, and they're like, we're gonna become like heroes and destroy the kaiju.
Kind of like that. Okay.
That's literally the only parallel, because he becomes like the waste management guy to like clean up the kaiju, and she becomes the hero.
Dang, Mikasa.
Yeah, basically she's Mikasa because she's like the best. Yes, you know, so that was the only parallel, that they were young in the beginning. Now they're not.
I know who's the protagonist guy then from the cover.
Yes.
The derpy guy in the center?
Derpy guy in the center. Yes, indeed. I don't think this is a spoiler, because I think it happens episode 1 or beginning of
We might
episode
actually
2.
watch this show.
Oh.
It's going on the poll list, because we've actually gotten several requests.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I know you gotta keep it to yourself, but then you can lead it if you want.
Okay.
If she wants. You will lead it.
Oh no.
I was gonna say, I forgot I should have taken the name of the person who was talking about it in the Patreon, because Patreon now has a community board where community chat, and I was trying to use it, but I completely forgot about it for a month, and people were actually commenting in there. So I went back and was talking to people, and I was asking, I just threw a question, it's like, hey, what are you guys watching? And somebody was like, I'm watching Kaiju, and it's really, really good. I was like, oh, okay. So there's hope for that one. Because I remember you said you started watching it.
Yes, it is fun. I think we would be able to actually like enjoy it and have a conversation about it. So that's cool.
Comparing it to Gogolooza Ranger, which one's better?
Better?
Yeah.
Well, I've seen the end of one, so that...
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Like from
Gogolooza
the
Ranger has a
start.
certain feeling of art, a certain feeling of combat that's just... It kept it around average. We talked about it in the review.
I would say it's about the same,
Okay.
honestly. Yeah, about the same, like, depth of thinking, like, in regards to, like, how you're thinking of how much deep this plot is gonna go. It's, like, pretty much the same. But, yeah, the combat is good. It's combat all the time, because we're fighting kaiju. Like, every day.
I like that.
Yes.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better than Ninja Kamui?
Ninja Kamui. Oh.
Okay, Ninja Kamui tried to be all fighting, which it would have been good if it didn't, swap over. But I didn't think that.
That's hard?
I did not think anything about this.
It's because like a lot of the fighting doesn't happen from our main character, so it can kind of feel like, let's just get back to the main character. Like most of the intense that's really good fighting happens from other characers.
I don't mind that.
No, and it sounds like it makes sense if the protagonist is mopping kaiju blood. You know,
Well, he later
eventually
joins,
gets in, of course,
Yeah.
of course. But in the beginning, it would make sense that for the first couple episodes, he's just longing for the battlefield. Maybe. It's just like, I'm not telling you.
I can see you're like, you have the answer, but you can't say it.
Speak, but I can't.
Yeah, but that's fine. It seems like a pretty cool show. I do want to see it one day, even if it doesn't necessarily win the poll. If it doesn't win this poll, the next poll that happens, it probably will never win a poll. It seems like one of those shows that kind of, the hype comes for a new show, and then it goes. I don't get the feeling that this is one that people are chopping at the bit to watch.
Probably not.
Compared to the others.
It's probably just like a surprise. It's actually kind of good show.
Yeah, and also like the art is really pretty sometimes, and then other times it's like really average. So when it's really pretty, you're like, oh, so pretty. Especially like the outro where you hear, I think I mentioned One Republic saying the outro, and I'm like, oh,
In English?
that's so nice. Yeah, in English.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the outro was really pretty. But yeah.
You know, considering it's going to be a poll show, I started thinking about what's the show that would probably win the next poll. We're in a spot right now where it's really a toss-up. Because before we had shows that I always kind of knew would be the top three. Like we had Steins Gate, Violet Evergarden, not Mob Psycho. Yeah, Mob Psycho was there at one point.
Yeah.
And Freerun. We've watched them all, or we're
Yes.
watching them right now.
Yeah.
Right now, it is a free-for-all. I have no idea what would win the next poll.
Oh, really?
Same for the movie polls, which there should be a new movie poll in the next coming few days. We just watched, like we were talking about, Train to Busan. Check it out if you're a patron. If you're watching this 2 weeks ahead, you should be able to vote. I wish there was an easier way to pin the movie poll, because it does seem like we get like a burst of votes and then it falls off as it goes down on the list.
Yeah.
So people probably just don't realize there's a poll going on. So
What we can do, I did find that we have the ability to republish and notify subscriber, whoever it's going out to. So because normally if you go in and like edit something, you can save and it says notify is checked off. So if you go in there and you don't even have to do anything, just go in and then check notify, you could probably send it out again.
could probably do that like probably once a week till it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that works. But yeah, vote on the polls. Very interesting to see. Interested to see the next one.
Yeah. And also
Probably-
make suggestions as well, guys.
Yeah, next movie, which Train to Busan, it's out. You should be able to watch it now. I'm sorry it took a little longer than usual, but thank you guys very much for your patronage. But either way, I think that's it. Guys, thank you guys very much for being here. Guys, if you liked your time here, please leave a like, subscribe, follow, and see more. Remember, if you want to see these 2 weeks ahead, like the people who are watching it right now, you can see the Patreon down below. But either way, I'd also like to remind you can see the movies a month ahead. You can see Steins Gate 2 weeks ahead, Violet Evergarden 2 weeks ahead, and other shows 1 week ahead that allow it. But right now, we're also watching a live show, Oshinoko. Check that out. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the city. Bye-bye.
Bye. And my hero.